Richard Ashworth, you've been meeting one of the European Commissioners in Strasbourg. What was the aim of the meeting?
I've had a meeting with the Commissioner this morning to explain to him the difficulties which are being faced by sheep producers right across the European Union, but specifically in the United Kingdom. And I think it's important to note here that the United Kingdom has far more sheep. The population of sheep in the UK much bigger than any other country in Europe. So this does affect British farmers. And I've impressed on the Commissioner the practical problems which we're experiencing in the sheep electronic identification regulations which he is imposing.
And there were many warnings from people like yourself, from farmers' unions ahead of these plans actually coming into force. In reality, on the ground, what are the problems with this technology?
We've had real concerns for some time now about the practical application, and what we're finding is that the technology is fairly advanced technical stuff, and it's not 100% accurate in what I call on-farm conditions. In other words, in the wet and in the mud, it's not 100% accurate. Problem there is that the farmers are required by law to be 100% accurate, and I have told the Commissioner in no uncertain terms that the penalties which are being imposed on farmers for non-compliance or infringements are vastly disproportionate to the infringements which have been recorded.
You say disproportionate. Do you have any idea of the scale of fines for this particular offence, if I can put it that way?
Yes, it's in what we call cross-compliance, and cross-compliance implies that there has been an infringement of the regulation at any point in the farmer's business. Now, where those infringements occur, penalties, which are financial penalties which are related to the single farm payment they receive, those penalties are hugely disproportionate to the infringement which has occurred. And that, I think, is grossly unfair, and that's what I pointed out to the Commission today.
You pointed it out. How did it go down with the Commissioner? Are you any hopeful that he's taking your concerns on board?
I think we've got real hope that the Commission firstly listened to what was being said and were prepared to take on board those problems. However, the Commission also pointed out, and I think it is fair to say, that all of this came about in light of the foot and mouth inquiry, that there very clearly is a need to be able to record the movement of sheep. We all accept that, but we've got to make it work in practical terms. So they listened to those objections and listened to the problems. And I think what he gave a commitment or assurance today that he was prepared to do was to abide by the decision of what we call the high-level group. Now, that is a group of specialists drawn from all over the European Union who make recommendations to the European Commission about the ways that they should carry out legislation. So that, I think, is the most hopeful sound we've had from them for a considerable time.
And just finally, for you, what would be a fair outcome? What does the European Commission need to do?
We need a greater degree of flexibility in the system. It's utterly rigid right now, it's 100% or nothing. Well, that clearly can't be the case. So we've impressed the need for flexibility, we've impressed a need for reasonableness, proportionality in the fines which farmers will receive. I hope that they've taken that on board and listened to it. There are a number of other technical issues which we've raised with the Commission and which they are prepared to go away and consider. So at least we've got them to understand the problems, and maybe, no promises, but maybe we will get some action from them.